Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for tuning in today and another session of Beyond Connections, where investors can ask anything about the stock market. Here with us today are my fellow analysts. So, we have Herman, who covers the power, telco, and property sectors. I am Rainier. I cover the consumer and transport sector. And we have our technical analyst with us today. I say,
Isaiah cover companies below 30 billion market cap.
all right. I guess we're pretty much ready to answer your questions. But before that, Herman, do you have any insights about the market over the past 2 weeks since we last saw everyone?
Siguro easier to look at the market, how the market finished one of the day. So the BSCI finished at 6,404, which is down 19 points, and that is equivalent to a decline of 0.30%. So among the draggers include, wait a sec. Among the draggers include Monde, URC, AGI, UBP, and SM. So I think most of or all eyes were on Monde and URC earlier because of the steep drop. And like, do you want to like discuss the potential reason for this?
Yeah, for URC and Monday, I think we wrote about it earlier today in our short takes, but it was because of the new tax measures that were planned to be implemented. It was announced late last night that they were planning to impose more taxes or higher taxes for sweetened beverages and junk food or salty food. Well, currently, it's all being planned pa lang. Wala pa namang anything written. It's not yet a bill. It's not yet, nothing's finalized yet. I guess the market is just reacting towards the possible implications of one, or if it does become a reality, or if it becomes a bill. Supposedly it was planned for 2025 that these new taxes will be imposed, but it was pushed to 2024 because the government wanted to uh, gain more collections from these goods, which are basically supposed to or designed to make the population healthier, kumbaga, that it's actually similar to the sin tax or basically the taxes on vices such as tobacco and alcohol.
Okay, so naisip ko lang. So sa Simon, then URC, what do you think will management like how will they react to these additional taxes? Will they raise prices, or like will they prefer to take the hit na lang in terms of margins?
Uh, well, that's an interesting question because most the I guess the challenging part for example URC and Monday. Um, in the past year or so, because yun nga, ang taas ng raw material prices, wheat and palm oil prices were at their highs last year. So they had to increase prices in order to match the cost. So I guess if we go back 2022 to present time, siguro nasa 15% na yung pinrest increase nila. Well, that's seen in the inflation numbers. But if this is imposed, it's likely that they will have to increase prices further. Although it's premature pa to say or even to uh, imply or try to guess what management will do. So it's something to watch out for, especially in the coming weeks or months, if the government will try to really step up their game in trying to implement this bill.
Okay, I see.
Just ask you to show the chart.
Okay,
So
Okay.
try
I
to see.
you're talking about Monday kanina.
Monde and URC.
Monday URC. So both Monday URC are at oversold levels here now at the back, low end of the band. You'll see Monday. It's also oversold. We haven't spent too much time below the bands, so it could possibly bounce. Do you see Is there a catalyst for it to bounce recently, Green?
Well, because of the news, there might not be enough catalyst to for them to, see a bounce. It's more on or actually it depends on what we will hear afterwards. Kasi much of the news lately revolve around yung taxes that will affect both Monde and URC products. Although yung I guess ano the the part that we will watch out for kung ano yung mga products that might be affected for Monde and URC. So I guess that's what we can say for now, given the information that we have. So we just have to wait and see.
Okay, so siguro while we discuss yung mga current developments in market, you can feel free to send us your questions if ever you have any, and we'll be more than happy to entertain them.
And I think I guess right after market close. Sorry if you guys noticed wala si Best today, our banking analyst. But the BSP maintained the interest rates.
Yeah.
They didn't they didn't hike or they didn't cut. So it was in line with expectations of what the BSP was expected to do.
Okay. Siguro while we're waiting for questions from the audience, do you have any particular stock na parang it's the number one in your watch list like these days? Like any particular stock that you're looking at?
I see. You want to go first?
Oh, let's talk with SSI.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess SSI is something interesting to watch
Sure.
kasi
That's right.
yeah, actually SSI has been performing really the opposite of what we're seeing in the market. So it's pretty much a sign of strength, given that it's only trading at 4 times PE. So it's been really strong in terms of earnings. At the same time, for Q2, what we can say for now for SSI is they're most likely to to maintain the momentum, and it also helps that their profitability has improved significantly compared to what we've seen pre-pandemic. So again, some I guess IC can provide more color on the technicals.
Okay. See if you can share the chart. So SSI has been basically declining on lower volume, which is positive for the stock. It hasn't really retraced much. It didn't even retrace to the 38.2% retracement level. So it's been consolidating at the highs. This is positive for the stock. So you can either buy on the dip or you can try to buy on the break of the resistance on above average volume. So that's it.
Okay. Thank you for that. I see now we're seeing. I'm not sure if it's really questions, but we're seeing a lot of stocks being named by our viewers. So
Yeah.
I guess you can start with from Jermaine G. Converge. Why bumababa po Converge?
Okay, so thank you for that question. I think we wrote it in our short takes either this week or last week that um, Converge is like one of the prime candidates to be booted out in the index because of its continuous decline in the market in its market cap. So we'll just have to wait and see if the decline continues to happen in the coming days and in the next PSEI rebalancing. But based on our calculations, Converge is one of the prime candidates of being voted out in the index. So that might be one of the reasons for the decline in the stock.
All right. Thank you for that, Herman. Technicals. I guess we can see we can show the chart.
True. So Converge is basically broken this support level. For bulls, you'll want to see it break back above 1104. This can allow you to basically set a stop if you like that kind of trading and go long. If it breaks and holds above 1104. Yeah.
And it closed today at
Close today at 1070.
10:70.
But Herman, do you think, or are there possible catalysts for Converge, even to, I guess at least to gain back some of the what it lost?
Yeah. Okay, siguro one possible catalyst for the stock is if if maganda yung naging traction ng prepaid broadband niya, because market players right now are seeing a saturated market in terms of postpaid, so they're now venturing into prepaid. So we just have to wait and see if that venture gains enough traction in order to propel the earnings growth for the company. So that could be a potential catalyst, but it's still a wait and see mode right now.
All right, thank you for that, Herman. And I guess the next question is still for you, Herman. We have Linus asking about MPI. I guess this is both for fundamentals and technicals.
MPI. So for MPI, wala namang recent news apart from the announcement that the company is nearing to selecting a new valuation provider, because the PSC instructed them that the previous one was not independent enough because of previous work done for the bidders. So right now I think that's still the recent news, and maybe the recent strength indicates that the selection of a new valuation provider is already nearing to completion. So not that might be one. So there. For me, I think it should these developments, along with the yung approval ng increase sa NLEX stall rates. So these two developments, the selection of a new valuation provider and the approval of NLEX stall rates hike, I think these two should warrant higher tender offer price for MPI, because these two should boost MPI's valuation. So there.
All right, thank you for that, Herman. I guess for technicals, what?
Well, not as much technicals because it's more event driven.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, oh yeah. So it's basically testing this 453 resistance level. So if it goes high, it's highly speculative now. So you might want to trail your stops on this MPI.
All right. I guess Herman, can you remind us or remind the viewers how much was the initial tender offer price?
The initial tender offer price was at 463. So it's already, the stock is already nearing that. So but yeah, because of the selection of a new valuation provider and the approval of the NLEX stall rate hike, we believe this warrant a higher tender offer price for it.
And I guess along the lines of MPI, Herman and I mentioned earlier or talked about earlier that when MPI goes up, there's also the domino effect on Bloom, because Bloom is expected to be the one to replace MPI in the PSE index, and at the same time, it's also
Hey, go ahead.
doing better in terms of fundamentals, Herman.
Yeah, for Bloom, we actually upgraded our target price from 11.20 to 11.80 because of the outperformance in its Q1 earnings. So it exceeded expectations, and it also exceeded that of pre-pandemic levels. So things are really looking good for the gaming sector, and particularly for Bloom. That's why we're still bullish on the stock.
All right. So I guess with that bullish note, are you seeing any possible entries or opportunities?
So in the near term, Bloom does look like it's coming off oversold levels as it touches this light green area. It's still above the dark blue line, which is above the 200-day moving average. So it seems like it's an opportune level to buy. for a swing or even a swing trade or adding positions.
Okay, thank you for that. I see. Next, I guess this is all for you, Herman. We have, how about from James Manhares and Edmund Ong is also asking about Ali. Okay, first, yeah, we can have.
So for Ali, we mentioned the stock in today's short takes in our focus as one of the stocks na oversold. So meaning yung RSI niya is below 30. And then we also showed a juxtaposition of Ali and SMPH's share price performance on a year-to-date basis. And we showed na medyo malaki yung outperformance ni SMPH. So in that note, we nagpe-pay off yung call namin to prefer SMPH to ALI. And I think that's because of SMPH yung Q1 earnings niya is already 107% of pre-pandemic levels, whereas Ali's is still at around 62. So in terms of returning to pre-COVID levels, profitability, malayo pa si Ali, whereas si SMPH nalagpasan niya na. So because of that, and because of the rebound in mall foot traffic and the expected worsening of office vacancy rates by year end, we believe SMPH can continue to fare better than Ali in the coming quarters.
Okay, thank you for that, Herman. I guess, can we show the technicals for
SMPH.
Okay, for SMPH and Ali? Okay.
Well, it has a slight downward bias, but mostly sideways, looking a little bit on the lower end of oversold. So it's just just sideways to down. You know, siya. Not really, not really any pattern to trade or anything, but it's oversold level.
Okay. What about for Ali?
Ah,
Are we seeing any possible bounce?
Okay, so it's trading. It made its way outside of the band, so it could retrace back to maybe 24.60 to 25.30 in the short term.
Okay, thank you for that. I see.
Also na-mention ni IC kanina na he was covering yung mga stocks under 30 billion market cap, but for now, puro blue chips yung tinitingnan natin, no?
So
So
parang first time.
all around
Yeah.
talaga yung size.
Thank you so much. Next, we can have from Ian Hernandez asking about two stocks, DMC and DNL. You want to go first on DMC?
Sige, ikaw muna din.
Okay, DNL first. So for DNL, we're hoping for a better Q2 from DNL because Q1 wasn't really that strong, especially for the months of January and February. Mainly because of the customers of DNL aren't really stocking up that much compared to what we've seen during the pandemic. Now that we've reopened, much of their customers haven't really stocked up on inventory because mas madali na rin naman yung transport. So they aren't ordering as much, so it's more of a normalization. But come March and April, management indicated that they are seeing pickup in sales. So more what we are seeing so far, parang yung Q1 was pretty much a one-time thing. Nag-drop yung sales, and most likely CDNL will have normalized levels of sales moving forward for the rest of the year. So we are seeing some opportunities to pick up the DNL, and I guess IC can show later the charts after we talk about DMC.
Okay, so for DMC, our target price is actually at 918. So right now we are a hold on the stock. We don't really see any potential price appreciation on the stock because its property and construction businesses are still seeing heavy headwinds. So um, I think much of the heavy lifting will fall on Maynilad and I think it's off grid power. So not much to, I think for now, for this year, not much to look forward to for DMC. Although interested clients can still buy the stock for its dividend yield. We expect it to pay out around I think 0.60 for November in special dividends, and around 0.48 for March next year. So that will total to 1.08, and this implies a double digit in dividend yield at its last closing price. So for those who are interested on the stock, you should buy it for its yield and not really much on the potential price appreciation.
Okay. I guess I say you can talk more about the technicals and possible entries, or
Drew, you need DNL. So DNL is below the 200-day MA, which is the dark blue line. It's below trend, but in the near term, it's oversold. So it's okay if you're, say, a long-term investor. Um, it needs to get back above the 200-day MA to start to trend up in the longer run. CDMC, it's trending down, and it's actually, the trend looks quite strong on the way down. Like, hopefully, it can rally towards 999 in the near term.
okay. Thank you for that, IC. I think we have time for two more questions. Uh,
Hmm.
okay, for coming a question from Jimson Hua. Insight on LTG consistent on divs but still declining. Yeah, that's a good observation because for LTG, it's mostly a dividend stock now, and especially they've been giving consistent double digit dividend yield since 2020. But our outlook for LTG isn't as bright anymore, given that we are seeing tobacco earnings also declining due to higher excise taxes that force consumers to have higher tobacco prices, leading to lower volumes. So what we may see for LPG is they may maintain dividends for now, but I guess in the medium to long term, I guess mas mahirapan na sila to maintain those dividends given the lower earnings that they receive from their tobacco business. And I guess you can show the chart.
True charts. So LTG is basically slowly breaking below the 200-day MA, but is oversold. So it doesn't appear to be, um, it appears to be going down. Basically, it's suddenly trending down, but oversold. So
And I guess what we can observe from the chart, parang medyo marami siyang gaps.
from dividend level.
Yeah,
X,
and it's
X
mostly
dates.
because of dividends and X dates. So just in case our viewers are curious kung bakit yun yung chart niya, mostly because of the high dividends. Uh, come X dates. So I guess we just have we just have time for one last question.
Siguro add ko lang sa
Oh,
LTG,
okay.
parang there was recent news na there was some shake-up in their upper management, and that the new what was his name? I think yung bagong CEO,
Yung apo ni
yung
Lucio.
apo
Yeah.
ni Lucio Tan. He was well aware of the decline in tobacco earnings, and that is looking forward to diversifying the business in order to come up with new revenue sources. But there are no concrete plans yet that was announced to the public. So it's interesting what he has in his mind in order to diversify your revenue sources. But I think that's one of the things that the public can look forward to on the stock.
All right. Thank you for the follow up, Herman. And I guess our last question can be on Seb. Linus asked about Seb regarding possible suspension of franchise by the government due to lousy services. Well, Zeb has been on the news a lot lately. They even had the Senate hearing yesterday. On the possible suspension, uh, I don't think that's gonna happen for Zeb. Uh, I'm not sure if people will take that as a positive or a negative, but for me, I don't think that will happen because given their ano naman, fight cancellations, they were able to provide, I guess, at the minimum, what was required of them by the passenger air bill of rights, and at the same time, much of the cancellations din naman were affected. They I guess they didn't really want naman those cancellations, but it was also as they were also an effect of the supply chain disruptions on much of their aircraft, which yung mga Airbus new models. So they have a lot of that currently in their fleet. So that's why they are experiencing some challenges in mounting flights. So in terms of ayun nga, the suspension, I don't think that's the thing that we're worried about. Kasi parang ano na naman, if the government decides to suspend them, parang a lot of people will not be able to travel, diba? Go back and forth, especially given that Cebu Pacific's market share in domestic and probably in domestic is about 60%. So that's a lot of flights to be covered by its peers. So I don't think that will happen kasi in logistic nightmare. But what we are worried more about, or what we want to look forward, or what we are watching out for, is yung possible repercussions ng supply chain disruptions. Well, because yun nga, mas nahihirapan sila mag-mount ng flights. So this will affect Q2 and possibly the second half earnings. Although even if the situation is expected to be a short-term problem, it still can affect earnings moving forward. So we're watching more on that rather than the suspension.
Rina, does it have any implications on PAL and siguro si Mac na din?
I guess for PAL kasi yung fleet niya ng Airbus Neos at 8. So, ano ba yun? Mga, I think it's about 10% of their fleet. So, they are actually si Seb, 30% of their fleet yung Neo. So, mas mahirapan sila to cover the 30%. Si PAL, they are able to cover naman, I guess, yung 10% with their other aircraft. Um, the implication, yung impact kay PAL or MAC, it's most likely minimal. I'm not I'm not too keen on them getting market share from Seb because they are experiencing challenges of their own. So I'm not sure if yun nga, merong winners on this issue. It's more on the industry-wide issue that may affect sentiment on both Seb and Mac. So I see. I guess you can show the charts.
On chart.
Seb.
So Cebu Pacific was unable to hold above the 20-day MA. It's trading below the lower band, so it's oversold, approaching support at 35.55. So it's probably a good area for a short-term bounce. Fine.
Yeah, I guess yun nga, if maging positive yung results ng mga sa Senate hearings and all, we could see some bounce there. But for now, I guess ayun, medyo downtrend talaga siya. What about on Mac?
Macro Asia also in a primary downtrend. This gray line below the 20-day MA, the dark blue line. So it's also down on the oversold side.
So thank you for that, IC. I guess hopefully the next time we will be seeing our viewers, sana mas maganda na yung mapapakita nating charts and the market in general. So I guess to wrap it up today. Thank you so much for giving us time to share our views, and thank you for the questions. Hopefully that we will see you again in 2 weeks from now. Yeah, and watch out for our latest announcements that you can find in our page, My Trade PH. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Bye. Thank you.